And we're live. This is Rebecca Hogue. I am in sunny Santa Clara, California, and we are doing a virtual connecting hangout with a bunch of folks at Hybrid Pedagogy's Digital Pedagogy Lab Institute. Whoa, too many words there. And I'll pass it over to the on-site folks to do some introductions. Tell us who we are talking to.
Oh, hi. My name is Lisa Hammersheim, and I am the on-site buddy for Digital Pedagogy Lab. And so I am here with my friends George and
Andrea. Hi. I'm also an on-site buddy for virtual. Hi there! Oh my God! I saw that. Hi, Janine.
Hi.
In person, it's amazing. I'm Andrea Wren. I teach at Whittier College in English and our Digital Liberal Arts program, and I'm happy to be here learning about identity with Adeline Coe, who I have stalked and admired for years.
Yeah, so this is kind of a good mix that we have of people here because we're all from different tracks within digital pedagogy. I know George and I are both in the network track, and are you? Oh, your networks. So three of us are. And we
really all from networks. Yeah. Don't believe anything you hear.
Yeah. But do you guys want to say just a little bit about what you learned today in your tracks? Or?
Sure, we can take. Well, actually, I'm George Station. I'm from Cal State Monterey Bay, as Brian, but we're in totally different departments and teaching areas and so on. I teach in the first-year seminar program, and I've also taught lower division technology courses, and that's my interest in the social side of technology is what I'm doing here, and networks seemed like the way to go. I was in touch with some people along the way, online of course, and I wanted to learn more about the network side of what I was doing intuitively, which was building my personal learning network, my PLN. And so I wanted to, just actually meet some people in person. Found out Bonnie was leading the track, and it seemed like a great way to go. So this is my summer play date. That's how I put it earlier. So we're all going to Chuck E. Cheese on Friday afternoon, I guess.
Yeah.
The water balloons.
A jumpy house.
So that's what I thought we were doing this week. So we'll find out.
Is it true you got to play with Lego blocks this morning?
Oh yes. As a matter of fact, they handed out different. They weren't Lego. They were nano blocks. They were the nano blocks, and we had to actually do a correction and make sure with trademarks and all of that that we were saying properly what we were using. But all kinds of different animals, and we did a starter icebreaker activity with finding our common animals throughout the room and so on. I had the macaw.
I totally saw those and thought, I want one. Totally want one.
Touch with Jess, see if he can pass them out. Since you guys, I feel like, are kind of here anyway, so you need to get.
But we saw those nanoblocks when they were wrapped up, and I didn't know what those were, and someone explained to me. But then we didn't see the actual things you guys built afterwards, and we would have loved to see pictures of you guys while you were building it. So if anybody can take pictures of that.
Did anyone actually build it theirs?
There a few people actually did do the building. Most of it, I think we were doing we were mostly using it to find and meet each other with the commonalities.
I think it's your homework for tomorrow. Your homework is to come back with built things.
Oh, now I need to find an 8-year-old precocious, freshman who was like next to Pete Hauser or something.
No, but you can hack the Lego. You don't have to build what it's supposed to build. You can build something else.
Okay, there we go.
That's. I would rather build something else.
Another species altogether.
Yeah. You want to say kind of what you learned?
Oh, sure. So today was a lot of time for introductions, hearing about everyone's background, research interest. My research interest related to the workshop is spending some time engaging in critical inquiry around how people are creating digital teaching objects and how they're sharing them in a networked environment. So we started to touch on that today in some of our small group work, and I'm thinking that there'll be a lot of time to further discuss this as the next 4 days move along.
What about you? You're the one that brings new information.
Okay, hi everybody. I'm doing Adeline Coe's track on identity, and it's amazing. Let's see, what did we do today? We actually broke up into groups and created our own assignments today, and then we critiqued each other's assignments about how they accomplished our teaching goals. And Adeline is tough, I have to say. And she led a great crit. I mean, she made us think, and she really made us rethink what we were quite proud of. So that was actually incredibly useful.
Andrea, you said something about vulnerability and how she modeled that really well. Could you let me know a little bit more about what it was she did that really impressed you like that?
Yeah, there was so the track is called Identity, and we were talking about all these various sort of vectors of identity, and one of those that we were talking about is ability and disability studies. And at that point, it was, as a group discussion and seminar. And things that I thought were so amazing is, one, she raised her hand, even though she's the teacher. She sat there with her hand raised for quite some time until it was sort of her turn. And then she said, I'm not an expert on this. Would somebody else have this discussion? But I just want to say that, I'm sort of embodying her. She said she just wanted to say, if I say something wrong, please let me know, and insult is unintended, right? And I thought, wow, that is incredibly powerful. Just the raising the hand, and then if I make a mistake, please correct me, and all of that. I just thought it was really great.
I love that. I love that. I just realized that the virtual people didn't introduce themselves, so I just want to, in case people didn't watch the Hangout just before this one, I'm Mahabeli from Egypt. Janine and then Autumn, can you introduce yourselves quickly?
Okay. Yeah. I'm Janine DeBase, and I'm here in upstate New York. And I've been teaching since 1982.
I'm Autumn Keynes in Columbus, Ohio. I work in academic technology, and I'm a master's student in educational technology.
You already introduced
yourself. Yeah, I
right?
introduced, yeah.
So
they know, yeah.
We're otherwise okay.
We're good.
Oh, come on back in.
All right. I was just going to ask you guys if anyone else wanted to share any key insights from the keynote today.
Oh, yeah. Key insights.
The keynote rocked. It was amazing. I thought it was totally amazing.
I actually enjoyed the Q&A too. There were a couple of, I'm going to say, challenges to Audrey's approach from a computer scientist, and in particular, it's like, well, okay, are we okay or not? We're still.
Yes. Yeah.
and I think I thought she
handled that very well.
Yeah, very well. It's not being anti-hard sciences or anything, or anti-technology in that sense. Mm-hmm. It's what's technology in the service of. And that's really what she was about.
Yeah.
So I understand that there was a problem with the live stream today, so I think the entire keynote speech is going to be up shortly.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, we hope so. We hope so. Yeah. Yeah.
But
But that's a really interesting point that you mentioned, because nobody tweeted about that conflict, or that, nobody tweeted the Q&A, I think.
Oh. Yeah.
So it's nice that you guys have shared that part with us.
So that came up during the Q&A?
Yeah, that was during the Q&A.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of tweets around the Q&A. What other kind of questions came up?
There was also actually a question by a medical doctor, it seemed like, about training and memorization and how you can kind of bring in care and humanity through that whole learning process. I think the reason there weren't that many tweets is so many people were like, oh, someone just asked about that. Like, I think we were all a little collectively like, whoa, what's she going to say? So, I mean, I think that the lack of...
Well, and I've found it difficult to tweet Q&As in the past, because when you're just tweeting a talk, people kind of understand the context, but you have to kind of tweet out the question as well as the response in a Q&A, and so it's hard to contextualize it in 140 characters.
Yeah, it would have been difficult, I think, to do that. But yeah, the question from the MD was interesting too, because in the medical profession, there's a lot of rote memorization and so on that goes on. Mm-hmm. And I think that was the point of the question, is then what's so bad about the technology that supports the rote memorization
and
and
can
so on.
kind of aid. Yeah, if it's aiding memorization to have machine learning, why is that a bad thing? And,
Of course, I come from a family of doctors, and I'm the only non-doctor in my family almost. And I always think there's something wrong with medical education that it emphasizes that actually, because they learn to memorize before they understand how to deal with human beings, and that's a problem. I don't actually see why they just accept that,
Worse is they get through medical school before they realize that they weren't meant to deal with human beings.
Okay. Oh, I should back to our individual track, if it's okay to jump back to that.
Yep.
Track, for a minute, because I was hearing about how tough Adeline was being, but Bonnie was. She was Canadian, and Canadians are so nice.
Agreed.
So, like learning through being supported all day long.
Yeah, we were loved and nurtured.
There was a lot of that. Yeah.
True pug fashion. Yeah.
So I just wanted to say that as far as maybe the climate in the room for the day, but a lot of I think good learning. Oh, actually, this afternoon's activity was different because I'm usually on the giving end and not receiving end of the type of activity we did. We did a jigsaw activity with one of our readings, and it was the perfect situation for it. There are a few readings that we were given for the week. And this is about a 2-page or something like that. Article.
Which one was that one?
It's how the networks work.
It's the first one in the networks track.
The first one on the networks track
Okay.
by Melanie Fullick. And so
I read that one, yeah.
And so basically we were put into teams in classic jigsaw fashion, and we broke down the article into sections. And so we each took several paragraphs of the article. So it was a classic jigsaw activity, except it involved a technology topic, a social media topic, and so that was kind of the difference, because jigsaw goes back way before it's a pre-web type of class activity, but we applied it and then tweeting some of our results. So if you saw some mystery tweets that said something like paragraphs 1 and 2, paragraphs 3 and 4. And they were, maybe a single tweet from each one of us, that kind of thing. It was about that jigsaw activity, and then there was no other content. That was what that was about.
Yeah.
It was really about.
I saw a photo about website annotation. Is that the same thing, or is that a different activity?
That was a different activity. Yeah, we did the hypothesis is. We learned about that for doing web annotation, and it was really cool. It's a tool I've never used before. But I'm looking forward to giving it a try. And as far as kind of sharing articles collaboratively and being able to kind of comment collaboratively, communally, yeah, it was good.
Yeah, and there was another one on visualization that Jared Stein demonstrated, and he's our what's the term?
Embedded pedagogue.
And that one was Tags Explorer.
Tags Explorer.
Yeah. And so he demoed that and there's a little bit of work behind it, because there's this Google spreadsheet in between phase that eventually generates a visualization from tweets as it gathers tweets. Looks like a little bit of work, and we're still working on, okay, what would we use this for if we used it? But the result seems, well, you know what, I don't even have a good conjecture yet. So
it was fun to look at, and it was fun to watch.
Maybe we need Jared at some point during the week and get him to comment on that.
Yeah. But tags is actually much easier to use than you think. It's got a few steps, but then once you've got those down, it works pretty well. I use it in my class if we tweet, and to show my students who's doing what and who's most active, but of course it hides you can't tell what the quality of what they're saying is, but it just shows them who's.
But it shows
talking a lot.
To whom, that's kind of thing, and how much.
Yes, and kind of who's an outlier, and just where we're coming together.
Okay. So maybe we should offer that back, or maybe you can. So you're obviously on Twitter waiting for us, so we'll maybe next day or so we'll send some fresh tweets out to you on that.
Yeah, that would be great. I really enjoyed that. Jesse tweeted it out during the during the Twitter chat on Sunday, and it was really cool to. I mean, I've seen a lot of SNA graphs before, but I really love that one because it was kind of interactive, and you could sort of get in there and grab stuff and kind of move it around and click on different nodes and actually see what was, how many tweets are encompassed in that node and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's a really interesting tool.
Yeah.
I'm curious if I can jump in here with a question real quick about like maybe the morning session with like Jesse and Shane kind of introducing things, because this is the first conference that they've held, right? The Digital Pedagogy Laboratory Conference. And so did they talk at all about like some of the setup or like how it all came about, or if they're going to continue to do it every year, that kind of thing? Is anybody talking about that kind of stuff?
That's top secret information we can't give away.
Oh, wow! Closed door!
This information can go onto the internet in any way.
No, they did. Jesse and Sean told the story of kind of how they had come up with the idea, and I think they're going to do a hangout with us. So I mean, that's probably going to be covered then. But yeah, I mean, they did start out with a good solid session as to kind of how they define digital pedagogy and how they came up with the idea and kind of what their vision was for this week. And yeah, I thought it was really great to kind of hear their passion.
Yeah, I think it actually sort of started, there was a road trip involved is what I perceived. Yeah. So because there was a road trip involved, they should probably be the ones to tell how it all came about.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, does anybody else have any other questions, or should we leave you guys to go have fun?
I have one quick question, and that is, at the conferences I go to, it seems like what people talk about at lunchtime is usually sort of often kind of the most important thing at the conference. So, like, I don't know, what were the hot topics at lunchtime?
Well, I'll answer first. And actually, Sarah, my sister, and I went outside and didn't talk at all because we had such a high level of interactivity during the morning session, and especially within the networks track. So I feel like this might be a conference where actually the really good stuff does happen during the sessions, because there's such highly interactive. Like, we weren't just sitting taking in. We did maybe 20 minutes of Bonnie talking to us, but otherwise it was like, okay, now you guys get up, and now you guys share, and everybody change places, and everybody send tweets about this, and okay, let's open your browsers. So I mean, a lot of it was like so interactive then that I feel like almost the meal times now are like, ooh, okay, let's.
And there was
flipped from the normal conference, so it's flipped from an academic conference, which is cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's different. It's a real teaching and learning experience. And actually, one way Bonnie put it as one way earlier, I think before it started, that she didn't want to do all of the talking, and she did. I think she tweeted about that the other day. But the thing that happened in the room was she really didn't. She engaged everybody in the conversation and reminded us that a lot of us are teachers. So guess what? There's a lot of probably she didn't use the word co-teaching, but I think that is the intent for the week. At least in our track, there's going to be a lot of that going on, where we're not just like learning and absorbing. It's not that kind of a conference where you just go to sessions and let people fling stuff at you that you take.
And I mean, it seems like you guys have probably been aware of this too, that the Twitter feed is so robust that I've even kind of dropped into other tracks' Twitter feeds too, and like asked them questions, and they've responded right away. So I mean, it's such an interactive experience, and it's like nothing I've ever been to. But just the amount of like we are all co-creating this experience, and it's such a cool thing. And I mean, it's also a little bit of a mental drain because you're doing it too.
So by the time we got done with the keynote Q&A and so on, it's like, I think there's a reception on this agenda somewhere. It's time. But lunchtime was actually a good break too. I sat with actually a couple of people from our track, but also one person from another track, and we compared notes a little bit and chatted a little bit, but most of us were kind of winding down during lunch so we could wind back up for the afternoon. So I think it's going to be, it's called an institute and not a conference, maybe for a reason. So there's stuff going on, all the way through. It's participatory. That's maybe it's truly participatory. We're not just going room to room and sitting and listening and watching stuff.
Awesome. So that it's good pedagogy.
Yes, very good pedagogy. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Thank you guys so much for connecting with us again and getting another
Great,
person.
thanks for inviting me in. Appreciate it.
Yes, thanks for coming and talking to us.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we will see you
All
again.
right. Take care. Enjoy the rest of it.
Much.
See you guys tomorrow at 3 your time
Yes.
in Bonnie's track.
Networks track.
Okay, going off air. 3, 2, 1, bye.